everybody. Welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we are here for another video book review. And today we are going to be talking about The Good Demon by Jimmy. Okay, you know what, Jimmy? I'm not even going to try to pronounce your name because I don't want to end up insulting you. So look, by this person. I don't know how that person, Jimmy. Thank you, Jimmy, for your book. I enjoyed it. It was a good book. I also really love this cover. I mean, that gold and red and the black. And you guys know I'm a sucker for a good cover. So, I mean, I found this at Ollie's and it was only $2.99. So I was like, dude, duh. So I got it and I read it and I enjoyed it. I really liked it. Basically, this is about Claire, who was possessed by a demon. But this demon was her best friend, was the person, the entity that was always there for her, who helped her through all her problems, who literally was her best friend. Her mother and stepfather noticed that there was something wrong. They called the local preacher and his son, and they came and exorcised the demon. This book starts after the demon has already been exorcised, and you are seeing Claire trying to figure out life without her demon. I will admit that it starts out very slow. It does start out a bit slow. It wasn't until I'd say almost halfway that things started picking up and that I finally said, okay, I'm going to finish this book. I want to see what happens. So just be aware of that. There is a lot of kind of mundane slush that you've got to slog through in order to get to the good parts of this story. So there you go. I believe I gave this book 4 out of 5. Before I finished it, I was kind of thinking that I was going to give it a 3 because, like I said, the beginning part was just really slow. I will admit, okay, I'm just going to give you fair warning that I, as a Christian, am going to have a very different opinion about this book from those who are not Christians. I will admit it to you right off. That's just kind of how it is. I am reviewing this from a Christian's perspective, which I will admit is kind of a big deal with a story like this. Going into it, I will say that I had some hesitations. Because you guys know, normally I'm the kind of person, I love horror. I love, the paranormal horror. There are some things that I kind of try to steer clear of. And anything that's very blatantly blasphemous, I try to steer clear of. No judgment. That's just my personal, my personal standards as a Christian book nerd. So at first, this one, as I was reading through it, I'm going, good demon. I mean, there was a very blurred line between good and evil when it comes to, again, the paranormal. I was starting to feel a little on the uncomfortable side that this demon who possessed Claire was viewed as something good, which then the author turned around and made the preacher who exorcised the demon look like a villain. And I mean, look, don't get me wrong, all right? I grew up around people like that. So I'm not going to sit here and go defending, these horrible people who, instead of actually trying to follow the Bible, they do things to make themselves look superior. They do things to give themselves more power. And they actually are detrimental to the cause of Christ as opposed to helpful. So don't get me wrong. I get it. But still, I was just kind of feeling a little uncomfortable with that. And I was like, honestly, the first half of this book, it was It was very slow, and I was kind of every other page going, should I be reading this? But I decided to persevere. Claire ends up trying to get this demon back. She finds this big conspiracy. There's a secret society. There is this, it just kind of, it all boils down to, okay, I can't tell you any of that because, again, spoilers. So I'm not going to talk about that. What I am going to say is that by the time I finished this book, I moved it up to 4 stars because I really liked the ending. I really, really enjoyed the resolution of the story. It was very fixed. It was very set. There was a lot of character development for Claire, for the preacher's son, whose name I can't remember. Roy. Oh, his name's Roy. That's right. With Claire's family. Like I said, by the time we get to the second half of this book, everything moves along. I really enjoyed the plot. I liked the characters. The development, it worked. I got to about almost to the end. And I remember that I even said to Ivan, I was expressing some frustration, and I said, you know what? I just don't understand why people write about things that they don't seem to understand. They don't seem to know about. I've reviewed books before, of people who have no basis whatsoever, with gaming, and then they write a book about video games. They have no real knowledge of cults or religion, but yet then they write a book about a religious cult and then they fail at it. And so I was just like, I just don't understand why people do this. Then I got to the very end of the book and I said, never mind. Never mind. Because the thing is by the time I finished this book, I don't know Jimmy, the author's background, but I guarantee you that it was a religious background. Finishing it off, my concerns as a Christian were calmed. And I was like, you know what? Okay. All right. I get it. I very much liked how, because you remember I said that it felt like the lines, the line between good and evil was very blurred, and that made me really uncomfortable. By the time the book ended, it was not blurred anymore. Jimmy has a very, very realistic grasp of not only humanity, but of the paranormal. By the time I finished, it was more a reimagining of the unknown parts of the paranormal, if that makes any kind of sense. It's like Jimmy acknowledges that we don't actually know. We don't actually know all the details of the afterlife, of heaven, of hell, of demons, of angels. And so he kind of took his own imagination and turned it into an interesting story, if that makes sense. Again, I realize that I'm probably talking to a very specific group of people here, because I acknowledge that not everyone out there is a Christian, not everyone out there is religious, but there's really no way to talk about this book without me actually acknowledging the religious aspect of it, and therefore my perspective as a Christian. I still give it 4 stars. I still really liked this book. I would not recommend it to everybody. It's a bit more of a thinker type book. While there is plenty, in the second half of the book, there's plenty of plot, action, there's plenty of character development. It doesn't change the fact that if you're not willing to use your brain and kind of sit and ponder what's going on, then you're not really going to like it. Which is interesting because normally I'm not that kind of a person. Normally I'm the kind of a person where I'm like, come on, let's go, action, action, come on, move it along. But in this case, I sat and I pondered and I really liked it. So give this book 4 out of 5. Great cover. Overall, just a very, very interesting read. And I really liked it. I did enjoy it, and I would recommend this to someone who really wants to put the brain power into it, if that makes sense. So there you go. The Good Demon by Jimmy, this person. All right, so there we go. If you guys have any book suggestions that you would like me to look into, make sure you tell me down in the comments. If you have read this book, I would absolutely love to hear your opinions on it. And just let us know what you're thinking. If you'd like to see more video book reviews, again, we love talking to you guys. We love having access to your brains to figure out what it is you want. So there you go. All right, everybody, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.